Mom, is it now my turn to play the Xbox? I'm gonna play the Xbox.
Mom said it was my turn to play the Xbox.
Welcome back to some more Sonic Heroes. For Team Dark, we're swapping over to the Xbox version of this game.
Oh, the Dark system.
Yeah, well, that's why we're playing Team Dark. It's very fitting. So I need to mention something. I don't own an original Xbox, so I'm playing this off the Xbox 360 via its backwards compatibility. So these FMV cutscenes are recorded from the GameCube version. Simply put, emulating this game on the Xbox 360 for the most part is fine. It has some weird graphical bugs here and there, but these cutscenes lag beyond belief on the 360. They're running like 5 frames a second. The audio's completely desynced. They're unusable. So GameCube version strikes again, just for cutscenes.
So we get introduced. This cutscene goes by way too fast. Doesn't really introduce like the characters very well. Yeah, Eggman found Shadow and kept him encapsulated after he died at the end of SA2. And then all of a sudden we see this robot coming up. Well, this robot was the last of the E series from Adventure 1 that Eggman had built. And, well, since Gamma betrayed Eggman, it's kind of how Omega ended up betraying Eggman. Finding out that Omega is trying to, overthrow his master, essentially.
Yeah, the biggest reason why is that Omega kind of got upset that Eggman kind of left him here just as a babysitter in a way. He just doesn't get used for his full potential. He gets thrown aside, so he gets mad and wants revenge.
Omega is by far the strongest of the E series. Oh, by the way, hi, now loading. Oh, gosh. Is that my computer doing that, or is that...
No, that's the 360 emulation on this game. I told you, this has some weird graphical bugs.
We're not GameCube safe anymore.
Yeah.
Nope. No, we just have some weird issues. Again, if I had an original Xbox, this wouldn't be this problematic because I would just record it from original hardware, but I don't have access to an original Xbox, so this is close enough. Because the gameplay is fine, it's just certain things look weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I have to say, though, Omega is probably the best power character in the game, my honest opinion.
Yeah. Like, Knuckles' level 3 attack is really good and probably the best out of all the power characters, but Omega definitely feels like one of the more well-balanced ones. He's really fun to play.
Yeah. Annihilate. Every time you swap over to him, you just hear me going, Annihilate!
I also love, his 800 score quote, because he just makes fun of the robots. They're all consumer models to him.
Wait, what is it he says with 800? He says...
At 800, it's worthless consumer models.
But yeah, this is by far Omega's the strongest E-Series robot Eggman has built. And it kind of shows. I mean, good lord. He can go faster than all the other models, really. He go really fast.
Yeah. It's also the longest running E-Series robot in the franchise, too, because Omega is used for a lot of games.
Yeah, he becomes a staple character after this series. He's playable character in Sonic 06. He makes appearances in all the other mainline series games. Besides, like Unleashed didn't have many characters in it.
Yeah.
He's in Generation. Is he in Generation?
I think he's in like one of the final cutscenes or something. I know he has a model in the game because of that like diorama theater.
No.
Okay, question. How are they carrying the robot when they fly? Wouldn't they weigh him down?
And Rouge has some really strong wings to be able to carry a heavy robot like this.
This Team Blast is pretty cool. It also stops time.
This is probably one of the best in the game because of it stopping time. Honestly, the worst one in this game is... Oh, okay, well that just happened. The worst one in this game is probably Team Sonic's because their attribute is Lightspeed Attack, which is a more buffed up attack, but it doesn't really do that much. Team Dark being able to stop time is so helpful. It only has one problem. It stops current events in your map too. Like if I used it here, these platforms wouldn't raise up after I killed those enemies. But you could just press the Team Blast button again to disable the effect. So you don't have to wait out the timer if you just need something to happen in the level.
I like that that it stops the timer itself, so like it'll give you a couple extra seconds to go past the level a little bit further.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I think we forgot to mention, since we started Team Dark's story, Team Dark is the hard mode of this game. The levels are a lot longer. It's a lot longer than Team Sonic's level, and yeah, there's a lot more enemies to deal with. There's a lot more questionable design choices to bottomless pits and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing about them is that most of the levels kind of feel about the same length, like raw length-wise. They take longer because there's more enemies, more obstacles for them to deal with. Some levels are actually drawn out because they do get to go to different sections that Team Sonic don't go to. So they see most of these levels like in their entirety.
I just remember when I saw this game in a Nintendo Power magazine. Oh gosh, how I miss that magazine so much. That's how I got most of my information on most of my games that I played at the time, was Nintendo Power, and this was one of those games. They explained everything, and like I said, yeah, Team Dark was considered the hard mode of the game, and they mentioned in there that the levels were in fact longer than the other teams. So that's why I said that, because I just trusted what the magazine said.
Well, if you also ask Omega for help, ask the robot for help. If you ask Omo-chan for help on the main menu when you select this team, he tells you how the teams play and their difficulty, and he says this is the hard mode. But it's weird because I say the real hard mode of this game is Team Chaotix because their gameplay style is radically different. But they're hard only because of a radical change, not in terms of raw platforming. In terms of the raw platforming, this is why Team Dark is considered the hard mode.
Perfect as always.
When we get to Team Chaotix, it's not get to the goal ring. It's do an objective and then get to the goal ring.
Yeah, and every level has a different objective.
So they just made that a little bit different then.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he's not at 1 emblem. He's at 21 emblems.
Yeah, if you want to add it up from all the different versions, because I'm using fresh files on every console for this, just to make things a little bit easier to tell me if I've completed a playthrough with this set team on each console. So the emblem count is going to be inaccurate, but for the sake of the playthrough, it won't really matter much. If you add them all up, then you're going to get the same results if you're playing the same version. I don't get any extra emblems.
Oh, by the way, I think I forgot to mention in this playthrough, Shadow is suffering from amnesia.
Yeah, so we mentioned this when we ran into Shadow briefly in Team Sonic's story, but as a slight spoiler to Adventure 2, at the end, he falls down after their fight with the Bio-Lizard, and he's drained out of his energy, everyone pursuing him dead. So everyone in the Sonic series just didn't know what happened to Shadow, but apparently Eggman found Shadow after the events of Adventure 2, just floating in space. So he was able to help revive him, get his strength back and everything. That's why he was in that pod in the beginning of the Team Dark story cutscene. But he doesn't remember anything at all. He does not remember anything that happened in Adventure 2, anything that happened before that whole saga. His memory is completely blank. So it's both Team Dark is trying to help him recover his memory in general, but the plot line for both this game and then the next Shadow the Hedgehog is just for him to try to recover his memory. And you don't find out what happened to him until the final boss fight in Shadow the Hedgehog if you wait around for 3 minutes. It's an idle chatter message. I don't know why they did that. Just put it in a proper cutscene. Yeah, this is confusing.
You don't even know Eggman literally found him until literally the last boss of Shadow the Hedgehog, and you wait around for 3 minutes for Eggman to tell you.
Yeah, they have all these different endings for Shadow, but no, none of them tell you that. It's just a random dialogue thing that shows up if you just sit around in a boss fight for 3 minutes. It's weird.
Yeah, we don't, it's so silly. Shadow, that was such a silly thing. When we get to Shadow the Hedgehog eventually, Oh boy, that's gonna be a playthrough when we get to that. Jeez. But yeah, it was trying to get the whole amnesia subplot of Shadow the Hedgehog was interesting because Shadow in SA2 had such a tragic backstory and all this other stuff. People liked it, and by the way, that's the only reason why he came back in this game is because people liked him. It's the same reason why Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2 didn't die at the end.
Yeah, because originally Shadow's supposed to be a one-trick pony character. He was only supposed to be in Adventure 2, but the fans liked the character so much they had to find a way to write him back into the plot. So Sega just basically did amnesia so we can write him in without referencing much in the previous game, and then later in Shadow we'll just say we brought him back because reasons.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's better than Silver, because Silver was a time traveler. Now he just exists in Sonic World. Like, that's it. They don't really explain him that much.
He was like Trunks in DBZ.
Yeah, like, he just kind of stayed there. And same for the Wisps from Sonic Colors, because they were supposed to leave to go back to their world, then they came back in Lost World, because we just like Sonic's planet more.
Plot consistency in my Sonic game? I mean, if it was plot consistency, the moon would be blown in half.
Yeah, exactly. Full moon tonight. Must be a plot hole.
I mean, Sonic 06 flat out at the very end of Sonic 06. Like, literally, the last scene of Sonic 06, we have a problem with the plot.
Yeah, that whole thing was just confusing. And then it exists in Generations. Like, why? Where's this? This never happened. How's this level here?
Eggman did not piss on the moon, so...
And that's why we got Crisis City in Generations.
I see the Team Blast, I'm like, what button is that? And I was like, oh yeah, they had a white and black button on the Xbox controller.
Oh, this is more confusing if you're like me and you're playing this on a 360. Like, I don't know what that button is. That doesn't exist on a 360 controller.
That's the select button on the 360 controller?
No, that's one of the bumpers.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the white button because on the Xbox, the original Xbox, it had a black button and a white button. They just literally called it black and white button.
Yeah, it was weird. They mapped that to like the right bumper on the 360 version if you're playing this for the emulation's sake. So it feels natural. It's like pressing Z on GameCube. It's just, I don't have that button on this controller. This is weird.
Don't turn off your Xbox console.
Why would you?
This game takes a while to save on other consoles. It was pretty quick on GameCube, but Xbox and PS2, it takes a bit.
Oh, we're fighting this boss again. Yay. Yeah, no, we're going to get a lot of repeat boss fights.
Yeah, because all 4 teams go through all the same levels and fight all the same bosses, but their stories are different and they go through different sections of levels, so they are different enough.
And you got to...
Wait a minute. He said he's created them, but he doesn't even remember creating them? Or his name, at least?
He made that many robots, he forgot. Like, which one did I... Huh. Were you made on a Tuesday? Oh god, look at that slowdown.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if I had an original Xbox, I would have used that, but 360 has some weird issues emulating this game. Sometimes backwards compatibility may not be the best solution. Especially if it's software.
I'm guessing you're not going to get the A rank here. Because you said you had to beat this in 30 seconds, right?
Well, no, that's the team battles. This is like a minute. If you beat him in under a minute, you get the A rank. That's the same for all 4 teams.
Gosh, even the victory animation, there's a little bit slowed down in it, too.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, sometimes software emulation is not perfect.
Yeah. Note this out. Don't play on Xbox.
Don't.
Yes, play on Xbox, not on 360.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I am thankful for backwards compatibility on my Xbox. I am. I really am. It allows me to play all my library without setting up my white Xbox 360 that is literally the launch 360 that has the overheating problem.
Yeah, honestly, I just wish this was on the Xbox One compatibility list, because that would have been better. But no, this is on actual 360 only for backwards compatibility. It's that or the original clunker.